Welcome to Espys Table. I'm your host, Michael Espinosa. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make my famous guacamole recipe. I've been doing this one for a long time now. Every time I make it, people love it. No complaints on it. I actually make two versions of this guacamole recipe. Today, I'm going to show you the classic version, and then when I'm done, we'll do another video showing you the kicked up version. The classic one I'm going to show you, I make for myself. It's a version that you can store in the fridge for 3 to 5 days until you're done with it, no problem. The reason why I do that one for myself is because in my kicked up version, I have other ingredients like tomatoes, cilantro, other things that I don't like to store in the fridge in guacamole for periods of time because they tend to wilt out or get soggy, so that's why I don't do that. But it's a great recipe and I'll show you that one after this video. Let me show you what you're gonna need in order to complete this dish. So what we're going to start out with is just a standard masher. If you don't have one of these, you can use just a large fork or a fork of your choice and then smash until you're at the consistency that you want. The other item you're going to need is a garlic press. Believe it or not, pressing the garlic into the guacamole is one of the secrets to this recipe that a lot of people don't do, but when you get the juices of the guacamole, juices of the garlic into the guacamole, it really elevates the flavor. I'm going to also add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then we're going to finish the dish with a little bit of paprika on the top for presentation. I usually do 4 large avocados, but at the store they didn't have any large ones, so I'm going with 6 smaller ones for this recipe. We're also going to have 2 limes. We have 2 habaneros because this is a spicy guacamole recipe. If you're a little afraid of the spice, you don't have to use this. But I think you'll like it if you try it. We also have a little piece of red onion. We don't need a whole lot. Red onion is very powerful onion, very strong, so we don't want to overpower the guacamole. And then we also have our 2 garlic cloves that we will use in our garlic press. So that's all that it is for this recipe. As you can see, pretty basic, simple ingredients. Let's move on to step 1, and I'll show you what we're going to do first. All right, you ready for step 1? Super easy. All we're going to do is we're going to take each of these avocados, take our knife, we're going to have them discard the pit and the skins and put our avocado into this bowl so that we can mash it a little later. So all I'm going to do, as I said, just have this. Very simple. Break it apart. Take your spoon. Remove the avocado fruit from the skin. See our little pit here? All we're going to do is discard it. And our little bowl down here, that's our discard bowl. And again, we're going to take our fruit or avocado and put it into our bowl. Now I'm going to do that with each of these, and then once it's done, I'll come back to you and we'll move on to step number 2. All the avocados are halved. The pits are gone. They're in our bowl now. Interesting thing about the pits, it used to be a few years back, I was always told to save one of the pits, keep it with the avocado because that's what keeps it green. That's not necessarily true. What actually keeps the avocado green is these limes that we're going to use right now. So for step number 2, we're going to take both limes, cut them in half as so. All we're going to do is squeeze it into our avocado. Not only will it keep it green, but it'll also give a nice acidity to the actual avocado guacamole when it's all done. So I'm going to finish squeezing this. Once I'm done, we'll come back and we'll go to step number 3. All right, on to step number 3. Pretty easy so far, isn't it? So in this step, what we're going to do is we're going to take our red onion, just a little piece like this, and we're going to take our habaneros, and this is the part where we're going to dice these up as fine as we possibly can. On this stage, you're going to want to take a little bit more time to make sure you chop both of these as fine as possible. What you may want to do, because you're using a habanero now, is you may want to use a glove when you're working with these to protect your hands in case you touch your eyes afterwards and it'll be unpleasant. If you don't do that, like myself, I don't use the gloves. Once I'm done chopping all this stuff up, I'll just simply wash my hands with soap and water afterwards. So make sure you do that if you're not going to use a glove. For the habaneros, we're just going to cut it. We're going to cut the ends off. We don't need these stems in our guacamole. Put it in our discard bowl. And all we're going to do is just cut in strips to start. What you may want to do also, if you want the habanero still in the guacamole, even though you know it's spicy, you do have the option to remove the seeds from the habaneros if you would like, and that will lessen the spiciness of them. I don't do that. I keep everything in here. But that's part of the reason why we want to chop these down as fine as possible, because you know, you don't want large pieces of a habanero or of this red onion as you're dipping into the guacamole, just because of the flavoring of it, how strong they are. We want to make sure they're as small as possible to spread it all out. So I'm just going to continue cutting these. And again, we're going to try and make it as fine as possible. I have both of these together. And what I do to chop these is simply place your hand on the top of the blade. With your other hand, just chop down. That's all you got to do. And you're going to want to do this, you know, sometimes it'll take me up to maybe 4 or 5 minutes to actually complete this process of getting it down as fine as possible. So I'll continue to do this. Once we're done with this step, all we're going to do is add it to the avocados, and then we're going to move on to step number 4 after that. I'll show you how fine this looks from a chopping standpoint once I'm done with it, and we'll come back. All right, we're done chopping down our onion and habanero. I just wanted you to see how finely chopped down that I have these, just so you can get a sense of what we're talking about. Again, these are nice little pieces that's going to complement your guacamole. All right, and all we're going to do is just add red onion and habanero to our avocados, and that's going to make up a big part of what makes this guacamole recipe special. Now what I'm going to do is move on to our 4th step, and that is taking our 2 cloves of garlic, and we're going to put it in our garlic press. And remember, the reason why we're using a press and not chopping this is because when we use the press, the juice of the garlic is going to go all into your avocados, and that's a big part of what makes this recipe so good also. So we'll just push it down, get all that nice garlic out of the press. Take our second one, same exact thing. Push it down, and look at all that juice coming out. Oh man, that's going all over the avocados. It's gonna make it so good. All right, we're done with step number 4, which is pressing the garlic. All right, we are almost done. Step number 5, very simple. All we're gonna take is our seasoning. We're gonna take a little bit of our salt, put it on our avocado. Remember, avocados tend to be a little on the bland side. So we're not gonna over salt this, but we're not gonna under salt it also. We wanna add a nice helping on there. It's always better to be cautious with the salt. If you think you're adding more, just stop. It's always good to add what you think is good for this. I always add a couple different pinches. Once I'm done mashing this up and I taste it, we'll be able to tell if it needs to have more salt or if we're okay with where we're at. So once we've added the salt, now we're gonna add a pinch of our pepper. Again, 2 pinches of the pepper is fine. And now all we're gonna do is take our masher and mash this up. Whatever the consistency is that you like for your guacamole, go ahead and do it. Not gonna hurt my feelings. You know, everybody's different, so whatever your pleasure is with this, it is all up to you. All right, we're pretty much at the end. This is the very last step where we finish mashing up our avocado, so now we actually have guacamole, and I'm just gonna put it in our serving dish, and I'll show you how I finish it. So I'm just gonna take what we've got, pop it in here as so. So you can see with the amount of avocados we had, we've got a pretty healthy serving. You know, if you have a dinner party coming over, if you're hosting a Super Bowl party, maybe you have I don't know, about 10 people coming over, I would say this is a nice amount for that group size. So there we go, we put it in there. Now what you can do is once it's in there, you can kind of pop it down so it sets a little bit. What I always like to do also is just take a paper towel and just go around the edges just to smooth everything out. like so. Now what we're gonna do to finish this, just to make it look pretty, is we're gonna take that cayenne, not the cayenne, this is paprika, and we're just gonna drizzle it over the top. See those nice colors now? That's it. Usually what I'll do is I'll take a chip and just pop it in the middle. That's my classic guacamole. And you know what you're hoping for is when somebody comes up to it, because everybody loves guacamole, they see it, take a chip, that's pretty good. What you want them to do is say, you know what? I think I'll take another dip. See ya.